Good morning, good morning, good morning, folks. Merry Stupid O'Clock. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, an autistic fucking rant. So, we all know about that letter going around. I support AH, and we're professionals. Two things on that. Us folks in the autistic community are very familiar with this one. It's an old tactic. It's called an appeal to authority. And what an appeal to authority looks like is exactly this open letter. It is folks who want to beat you down with their degrees, their credentials, their education. But what these folks always seem to forget, what they never want to admit to, is I don't care how many degrees you have. Your degrees never will beat lived experience. Kind of like with autism. My lived experience with child abuse, with sexual abuse, with DV, because I lived it, outweighs your intellectual knowledge on the subject. Your secondhand knowledge, having worked with survivors, still, again, doesn't beat lived experience, and it never will. It never will. But they use this as an intimidation tactic. They're trying to silence us. They're trying to silence JD again. It's a way and a means to try to relitigate through social media the entire case and tell us we're wrong because we're uneducated and we're not seeing things right. Bullshit, I'm not. I don't care how many professionals you get to sign that stupid little letter. I am not going to be gaslit into supporting a person I know damn well lied. Okay? Your credentials does not also beat my mother's over 40 fucking years in the medical field. It does not change her expertise. You remember those degrees you want to beat us down with, right, Ambi fans? Yeah, my mom's got one of those too. She specializes specifically in bones. She is a radiology technologist. She studies bones. What does that mean? Well, she works in the ER, folks. Every day from 9 a.m. to fucking midnight. She deals with all kinds of bone fractures, broken noses, a whole variety of accidents, actual domestic violence survivor victims, people who kick the shit out of each other because they got drunk and stupid, all kinds of things that can happen out in a rural area like Aurora. Okay? The way Ambi described what happened does not work. She could tell you from her own expertise, since you want to tout authority here, through her expertise, that you cannot have someone stomp with the heavy types of boots that Johnny likes to wear on someone's fucking ribcage and then be able to move around like the wacky wild inflatable tube man on late night television the next night. You're lucky if all you get is shattered ribs and there's no internal injuries or internal bleeding. Okay? You definitely don't want to move around if you've got shattered ribs or even a broken rib, because you never know when one of those bones could accidentally puncture a fucking lung. So your credentials, your professionalism, I have secondhand knowledge because survivors is not going to beat her over 40 years in fucking medical healthcare, okay? It's not going to happen. What she describes makes no logical sense. It does not match up with what we've seen of her in those interviews, okay? The appearance of her nose, I don't care how much makeup you put on. There is no hiding a broken fucking nose. I don't believe they had somebody there with prosthetics to fix her nose, okay? That's ridiculous. Alright? So their appeal to authority doesn't work. There is not one single fucking ER doctor or radiology technologist or radiologist, period, that's going to back them up. Not one that's actually honest. Okay? It's complete garbage. It's an old tactic. It's a means to silence us, silence him, and silence people like my mother with actual medical fucking experience, who's been around longer than a lot of these fucking professors and so-called experts have been alive. Okay? I think I'm gonna take her word over theirs. Just saying. Now, let's move on to this whole thing of she speaks for all battered women. The fuck she does. The fuck she does. Again, in the autistic community, we are so goddamn tired of the media telling us who speaks for us. We can't see straight at this point. And it gets worse every single fucking April. Okay? We're tired. We're tired. You do not speak for me. Autism Speaks doesn't speak for me. These other stupid ABA organizations, ABAI, for example, do not speak for me. I am not looking for no white, neurotypical, narcissistic, privileged little bitch to speak on my behalf. I have my own voice. It's a loud, defiant, truthful voice. When they do this shit, when they try to give you a spokesperson, here's what they never tell you. And I say this with some experience. They're not trying to speak for you. They're not trying to lift up your voice. They're not trying to empower anyone. They're trying to shout you down. Okay? And the louder they shout, the more desperate that they are. Okay? No one actually says they're going to speak for you and actually have your best interests at heart. It's not about you, it's about them and the fact that they want to get clout, notoriety, fame, or they just want to save their own ass at your expense. We got to stop with this societal thing of this person speaks for all women, this organization speaks for all autistics, this organization speaks for all disabled people. Fucking stop it. Stop it. Quit accepting the garbage that they sell you. Okay? You go out there, you develop, and you become your own damn voice. You don't need anyone to speak for you. You are your own individual, unique voice with your own unique life experiences to back it up. Never allow someone to take your voice from you by declaring that they are your voice. They're not. They're in it for them fucking selves. Please take it from me on this one. Please take it from me. Whether it's to cover their own ass, to get clout, or make money off your back like the Autism Speaks. These people don't speak for us. No one has the right to shout you down and shut out your voice by declaring they speak for you. Not AH, not Autism Speaks, not these goddamn professors and so-called fucking professionals. And when they try to shout you down, you just shout louder. Okay? They cannot beat your lived experience. No one can. Quit telling us that this celebrity or that celebrity or whoever wants to preach this fucking week speaks for you. You stand up on your own 2 feet. If you want to be heard, you make sure people shut up and pay attention. Okay? Good. I'm so tired of it. Autistics and disabled people have put up with this shit for years. People with fucking savior complexes acting like they're gonna use their voice and come in to save us. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. You're not us. You have no idea what it's like to be us or live with our unique struggles and issues and the bigotry and the hatred and the just open hostile stupidity that we have to live and deal with every day. Sit the fuck down. Alright. Moving on. In the description box, folks, you're going to see the link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. Speaking of people trying to pretend to be our voice and are psychopaths. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by Autistics for Autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the Judge Rotenberg Center's quote-unquote behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so folks, you know the drill. Please go again and read that article and share on all your social media. We also have linked in their NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, just in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. We also got the pertinent links to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that has, and pending, over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations. So far, every last one of them substantiated by a private investigation done by the Missouri Department of Social Services of the high crimes such as child abuse, sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child trafficking, and starvation, and that's just for starters. We have one staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor still on the premises, I might add, with multiple substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services allegations of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault against the boys there. You've got Eric Schmidt, who kicked the can down the road until he was able to leave and take his cushy Senate seat in Washington. I hope they eat him the fuck alive. And a governor who's too busy power tripping to give a shit about the fact that kids in Missouri are being horrifically abused and sexually assaulted by pedophiles on a daily. So please, read those articles and share on all your social media. Don't forget to share and sign the Change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. We got the pertinent links to Stop the Shock as well. We've got Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject. We've got the link to Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet. Once again, this particular receipt shows just how much of a liar Dr. Matthew Israel is. It lists all shockable offenses, including vague terms like non-compliance, which can mean whatever the fuck the staff says it does. Standing up for more than 3 seconds without permission, even to, dig your underwear out of your ass like most high school kids do. Just to give a few. We got a link. It's a couple minute synopsis, a brief view into the 7-hour ordeal gone that happened to Andre McCollins back in 2002, where for the high crime of refusing to remove his coat, he was thrown on a 4-point board, strapped face down with a helmet on, and shocked over 31 times with the GED 4A. That is 45 fucking milliamps, folks. That is way more than your general police taser, which operates off of 3 to 5 and is known to drop a full-grown man. Okay? We also got the templates and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org shut Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, okay? All right, this channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and we talk about dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger, parental supervision is highly advised. Trigger warning, we are about to descend into the mad ravings of a lunatic mind that is Dr. Matthew Israel. So just be prepared for gaslighting, victim blaming, and ableism and bigotry and hatred all around, all right? Don't forget, he will also be doing a lot of abuse apologencia. All right, folks, it is 4:20 a.m. in the morning, and because, God damn it, I'm old, I'm in a great deal of pain because of weather changes. My neck hurts, and I have phantom pain from where my teeth were extracted about 6 months ago. And I have not had my second dose of coffee yet. So if I stumble over my words, folks, apologies in advance, all right? Trigger warning. As usual. Because I'm dealing with Matthew fucking Israel, you're going to probably hear a good deal of profanity. Apologies for that too, okay? Okay. Moving forward here. God, I got a headache from hell. Getting old sucks. Okay, where we were last morning. JRC's program is approved or licensed by every Massachusetts agency that has jurisdiction over it. Can we talk about that for a minute? The only reason why they are licensed by every Massachusetts agency is because the JRC dangles over them the 1986 court decree like the sword of Damocles. These actual agencies don't even get the chance to really go in and do a thorough inspection of the school without a staff member 6 inches up their ass. They have to go on the special guided propaganda fest tour of JRC. Because if they don't, they will use the Massachusetts courts to sue them back into the Stone Age. Not a good flex if you know the context behind it. So, not the flex you think it is. JRC's education program is certified by the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, DESE. Funny they bring up DESE, because we've gone over those DESE reports. They have an unusually high amount of DESE abuse reports. An unusually high. Most places are going to have at least a few. The JRC's level of incidence in a single given year far outstrips any of its counterparts in all other states, literally all other states. They beat the day programs, the group homes, the special education schools. These folks kick the shit out of everybody when it comes to abuse reports, except, the schools and the teen industry. So yeah, about DESE. Again, why, even though there is an unnaturally high amount of abuse reports put in every year to DESE, are they allowed to operate? Why does Matthew Israel think he can use this as a flex? Again, that They used that decree from 1986 as a sword of Damocles over these people's fucking necks. These people can't conduct thorough, real investigations the way New York can, because they are beholden to that damn decree that to this day goes unchallenged in spite of being over 30 years old now. Yeah, never been challenged. A 36-year-old law. In spite of the fact that since then, the programs and treatments out there have multiplied over twice over, if not more. Okay? So again, since we know that the JRC has got these organizations and certification programs by the balls, this does not legitimize them in the way that they think it does. Moving on. JRC's residential program for children under the age of 22 is licensed by the Massachusetts Department of Early Education and Care, EEC. Again, not the flex you think it is when you hold the law over their heads, and if they don't obey you, you sue them into the Stone Age. Remember, these departments are not well funded, folks. They don't have millions of dollars like the JRC receives to go to toe-to-toe with them. They just don't. These departments get more money taken from them every single year. Every year. They don't have millions at their disposal to go toe-to-toe with these folks. They just don't. They don't have the money. They don't have the resources. They don't have the manpower, the attorneys, or the time. Okay? To sit there and say that this legitimizes what you do when we know how you do it, JRC, it's garbage. It's complete bullshit. This is why I like to tell people what's actually behind it. Because the uneducated person could read that and be like, well, it must be okay then. They're licensed. They have to come in and view. No. That's how I tell you how it really works. Why these places continue to license them. Because as we know, as we've read through documents, these places that license them don't have any real power over them. None. Zilch. Nada. They are not allowed to do proper oversight because of that decree. The JRC can get away with whatever the fuck they want to because of it. Okay? The few times that they have gone toe-to-toe with JRC, they have beat them down because they have millions of dollars coming in every year. Each student is $280,000 a year. They are raking in the dough. And they also got, from COVID, $73 million from the government. From the federal fucking government. $73 million. How is a underfunded department supposed to compete with that? When you have millions of dollars taken, more and more each year, and these programs are already underfunded and far stretched beyond their means to try to cater to all the consumers out there. Yeah. Makes the situation look a lot different, doesn't it? See, Dr. Israel, you want to talk about how we don't see reality? I see reality just fine. But moving on. JRC's treatment program for adults over the age of 22 is licensed by the Massachusetts Department of Developmental Services. Again, how do they do it, folks? The 1986 decree held over the necks of these departments like the fucking sword of Damocles. It's interesting how they use this because when you have a state that is not beholden to that decree, that does have the funding and the backing to do a private investigation, a thorough one, without their influence or oversight or bullshit. When they have an organization come in that doesn't have the sword of Damocles over their necks, all of a sudden the reports look a hell of a lot different, don't they? They actually corroborate the survivor accounts of this hellhole, don't they? Interesting, isn't it? JRC has special certification issued by MADDS to use aversive therapy. Again, from that 1986 decree. It's not the flex you think it is, considering you all continue in Massachusetts to refuse to look at that decree. Oh, now they're finally going to mention it. In addition, since 1986, every single treatment program that involves the use of aversive therapy has been approved on an individualized basis by a judge in the Massachusetts probate court and is reviewed on a yearly basis after its initial approval. Here we go again. At least they mentioned it, but it's garbage, folks. They won't tell you the context of what had them investigating them in the first place in 1986. That is the death of Linda Cornelison, where instead of doing their jobs and getting to the bottom as to why she was making those noises, they instead used 80,000 fucking adversives on her. In the meantime, denying her the medical treatment that she fucking needed. And because she was denied that medical treatment, she died a horrific, painful death. Not just from that ulcer, which was causing her immense pain, but she had 80,000 aversives on top of it. We're talking being spanked with a spatula, hot sauce used on her, smelling pellets, ammonia, all kinds of crazy shit. Hard pinches to very sensitive fucking areas because she was making weird noises and nobody thought that maybe she might needed medical care. They're not going to tell you that, though. They're going to say, but it's approved and the court agrees, so it's safe. No, it's not, Karen. No, it's not. The rest of the fucking world can see this for the monstrosity that it is. You can't hold the 1986 decree as the sword of Damocles over those of us who are not anywhere near your state, nor do your courts have any influence on us. Thank God for small favors, right? Judges are not doctors. Judges are not doctors. Can I say it again? Judges are not doctors. Okay? They have no business declaring that this is safe. Okay? Not at all. Not even a little bit. Your layman off the street. I could walk out there right now, go to my gas station, grab the attendant that works there and say, hey, does this look like it is safe to you? Yeah. Just like anyone with common sense, right? You mention the courts all the time. All of you do. But let's see here. You're from Massachusetts. You do know one of the most infamous trials of all time, happened in Salem, Massachusetts, right? You know, those judges believed that it was right and proper to hang people suspected of witchcraft. Many people died. You can't really expect me to take a court like that who has that kind of history and tell me the courts are always right. Okay? It's bullshit, folks. There's a reason why there's an appeals process. It's because many times judges get it wrong. Moving forward, over 15 different judges have been involved in the substitute judgment cases since 1986. Again, they bring up 1986. And I'm glad that they do, because again, they will not give you the context of that case and why it happened. They won't tell you the facts. They don't want you to just, kind of like AH, they want you to just believe them because trust them, bruh. Right? Right? Just believe, just buy into the lie. Listen to this fantasy story that they're selling you. Let's not look at the facts. Let's not go through the evidence. Let's not talk to the survivors. Let's not review the videotape. We don't need that. They're the doctors. We should just trust them. Yeah, it doesn't work, does it? That court case happened in 1986 because Linda Cornelison died a horrific death at their hands. And that was on top of the fact that they were also studying other cases going all the way back to 1976 when the first death happened in California that caused their internal investigation into his first place that he put together. You remember when they were tied and left to objects outside and forced to soil themselves, left out there for hours, where they were beaten with straps, bruises that were horrifically all over their bodies, where they were starved and dropped a dramatic amount of weight, where they killed a young individual by, again, forcing a helmet, strapping him down to a board with 4 belts. We're not talking normal restraints. We're not even talking zip ties, but belts. And left there where he died of asphyxiation. They're not going to give you that type of context, but I will, because I deal in facts, not trust me, brah. You will find all the articles, all the things I'm talking about right there in Autistica's massive archive. You will be able to read the entire court case from California that caused Matthew Israel to be kicked out of the fucking state. That's how bad it was. It was so bad that they wouldn't even let him fucking live there. Think about that for a minute. That's not even going into the Rhode Island report that got them kicked out of that state. So, I'm going to close out on that. Please read that archive. It's very enlightening. We don't get many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time, especially when it comes to this subject. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. And always remember, JRC, where you have just trust me, bruh, I'm a doctor, I have receipts. We have receipts, and we won't let you forget it. I do appreciate your time, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.